was amazed to find that Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, says in his quarterly reports, and loves to say in many settings, that he tells all of the thousands of Amazon employees who work under him, he wants them all to wake up terrified every morning. And that's the word he uses, terrified. And to stay terrified all day, because that makes them productive. But most of these people are just getting by financially. He wants them to live in fear, and he tells this to his stockholders as a good thing. All of these people, he wants them to be afraid all the time so that he and the stockholders can get more stuff. And they already have so much stuff. You know, like 50% of the total wealth of the world is owned by the top 1%. It's insane. And so we're saying, yes, get up, be terrified, as long as you're productive. And you know what? When you get really productive and you earn a lot of stuff and that's still your only way of being, you still wake up terrified every morning. And you stay anxious all day long. 284 million people, last I checked, were clinically diagnosable with anxiety disorder. During the pandemic year, 2020, anxiety went up all over the world by a full 25%. And here's the thing about anxiety. It's like one of those tire rippers that you drive across and you can't drive back. Because of the way the brain is structured, when you get into anxiety, it just keeps going up and getting worse and worse and worse. And then when you get a lot of people who are experiencing this intense anxiety and they can't get out of it, they create a culture that reflects.
Mr. Talcove, do you know how much money a day Mr. Musk will receive from the federal government for his contracts?
No.
The answer is $8 million a day. Just last year, Elon Musk was promised $3 billion from close to 100 contracts with the federal government. Ms. Royal, do you know how much the average person in this country who survives on Social Security, one of our seniors who's worked their entire life, about how much they have to survive on a day?
I do not.
$65 a day. We're not looking into Elon Musk's $8 million a day. This subcommittee, chaired by Marjorie Taylor Greene and the House Republicans, is looking into your grandmother's $65 a day. Let me be clear. I think we would all support taxpayer savings, look into money we might needlessly send to billionaires and big corporations, find taxpayer savings, and send it back to your hardworking family. But instead, what House Republicans and the Trump-Musk administration want to do is they want to look into your kids' lunch money, your kids' teacher's salary, into your grandparents' Social Security. They want to take that money and give it out in billionaire tax cuts. And they're talking about that in committee tomorrow, in budget committee tomorrow. They just released their plan. So let me be clear. When Republicans talk about government efficiency in this Congress, they're not looking into billionaires who don't pay their taxes. They're not looking into billionaires who get rich off of government contracts. They're not looking into Elon Musk firing watchdogs who are supposed to keep him accountable. They're looking at cutting your public schools. They're going straight for your Social Security. They're coming straight for cancer research. They're coming straight for the Department of Education. They're not looking at big tech. They're not looking at big pharma because those people fund their campaigns.
How many VA employees did you terminate on the night of February 13th, 2025?
Ranking Member Takano, as I mentioned, approximately 1,400 employees have been terminated during their probationary period.
Okay, but you can't tell me on February 13th, 2025.
I will provide that
Thank you.
information for the record.
How many VA employees did you terminate yesterday?
Ranking Member Takano, approximately 1,400 employees were terminated during their probationary period. I can provide the information requested for the record.
Thank you. I have a poster that shows the memo that you wrote and sent to the employees that were terminated. Did you write and sign this memo?
Ranking Member Takano, that is my signature on that letter.
And you wrote and signed the memo?
It is my signature on the letter.
Did you write the memo?
The memo was provided.
So you didn't write it. It was provided to you by someone else.
The memo was provided for...
And you're not going to tell me who provided you with the memo?
Ranking Member Takano, I'm happy...
But your name is on the memo.
I am happy to take the
Did you personally determine and verify which probationary employees to terminate?
Ranking Member Takano, happy to take that question for the record.
Okay. So right here, you wrote that based on this employee's termination, that you based this employee's termination on their performance. Did you verify that each terminated employee had been evaluated for their performance?
Ranking Member Takano, I will answer your questions for the record.
Did every probationary employee who was terminated have performance issues?
Ranking Member Takano, I'm happy to answer your
So you
question.
can't answer that question, though you sent this memo out and it resulted in their termination.
At today's hearing, I am prepared to talk about the Restore
Okay.
Accountability Act.
Ms. Derrick, my staff has now heard from many of the people who were fired, and we know that many had stellar performance records, which directly contradicts the memo you sent out. Did you do your due diligence before you sent this memo out and assure yourself that everything in this memo was true?
Ranking Member Takano, I'm happy to take your
So you just sent this memo out, and whether or not you're going to fire an employee based on their performance, but you didn't do the due diligence yourself to make sure that this memo was true.
I am happy to take the question and provide that.
So
information
the answer is
for the
no.
record.
It's not just that you're happy to take my question. The acting U.S. attorney in New York decided that she would resign before engaging in a quid pro quo that violated the oath she took. Did you take an oath to do the job you're doing now?
Ranking Member Takano, every federal employee.
Okay, thank you. So yes, the answer is yes. Do you believe that terminating these employees and lying about the reason why was a violation of that oath?
Ranking Member Takano, I am supporting the decision that was made.
So you supported the decision, and you sent out memos without knowing whether or not their performance actually justified their termination.
Ranking Member Takano, I am happy to answer questions
So,
regarding...
Madam, at what point would you resign rather than follow an instruction from a superior?
Ranking Member Takano...
Does it not weigh on your conscience that somebody's livelihood was terminated and you didn't do the due diligence to find out whether this memo was in fact true?
Ranking Member Takano, if any employee is concerned...
Just look at the veterans that are sitting behind you, ma'am. You fired these people.
The gentleman's time has expired.